Members of Congress are demanding to know why FEMA chose a one-person company to provide 30 million meals to hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico.
Shalom Akim, Yabashima Shabrakatam, double honors and salutations to elders and apostles of Growth Millstone, who will in righteousness and in diligence. I also want to say, most importantly, Kahala Yabashima Shai, Spirit Nasha DC camp, with brief lesson to edify the sincere brothers during the work of Yabashima Shai. Because we just need to remember that the hand of the Most High is still heavy upon the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the confusion of faces. Jake is spread out throughout the four corners of the earth. So I got this video here talking about how, the curses are still upon the nation, but the Most High is letting us know that you can't have no confidence in this system, man. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the video, play portions of it, and read some precepts. All right.
In October, the agency awarded a nearly $156 million contract to Atlanta businesswoman Tiffany Brown. She is the sole operator of Tribute Contracting. As first reported in the New York Times, she delivered fewer than 50,000 meals before the contract was canceled. Tens of thousands of unused meals now sit inside this storage locker. David Begnaud got a look inside. He joins us from Atlanta. Good morning, David.
John, good morning. Here are the meals. They're small, but this will make one big meal for one person every day. This is chicken and rice. It's better than the Skittles and Vienna sausage we saw in some packages in Puerto Rico. Look, you talked about the congressional members. They have sent out a letter saying essentially that FEMA is to blame for selecting a woman who had no real disaster experience prior to this.
My biggest regret was that the people of Puerto Rico did not get the food.
What was your biggest mistake?
Not asking for more help on this project.
Tiffany Brown says she had the best of intentions when she told FEMA she could send 30 million meals to Puerto Rico.
So Akim, that's the curses, So we're just going to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, I'll start from verse 15. Because Akim just got to remember the Most High is a terrible power, all right? So this is verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, Bashim Kwakadash, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. And verse 16 says, cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. All right. So, the curses is coming upon the nation of Israel, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. So Puerto Rico is still going through that process of recovery, but it's not going to happen, man. The place is messed up. Little bits of pockets of improvements here and there, but nonetheless, life there is not going to be the same anymore. It's just the spirit of happiness has left the building, has left the island. So if you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, it also says that, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord, the Yahweh, shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So that's why, Jake is going through all hell, man. There's no way, you could dispute it that this is not the work of the Most High. The Most High sent this Edomites to Jake. So that's how serious the Most High is getting.
Without any experience in a large-scale disaster, the agency approved her bid in just 3 days. This would have been probably the biggest thing you've ever done.
Yes, absolutely. For most people, yes. And you pour the water in it.
Her plan was to outsource production of self-heating meals to a
That's the problem with the so-called black woman, man. She's dependent on the so-called Edomites, this Edomites, the so-called white man system, to a T. You know, she can't see herself existing without him. You know, it's like full of hope, eyes all sparkling, you know, always on the front of the line to get a government contract, you know, heads all high, everything's booming in her mind. By the end of the day, the Mosai always throws a monkey wrench in there, man. Alright, because Jake doesn't understand that the Mosai is not joking around, man. You know, the Mosai has a way of letting Jake know on a quiet level that he still runs the show. You know, Jake could try as hard as he wants to make progress, but at the end of the day, it's the Most High that decides how much Jake is gonna get. You know, so Jake is messed up, man. You know, spend all that time trying to get a degree, trying to have a investment firm, trying to start a community organization, but it's all gonna be running to the ground because of the curses of Yad Bashim Shai. Okay, so I want to read Isaiah chapter 59, verse 1 and 2, because Jake needs to understand, man. You know, depending on the so-called white man is not the way to go, man. Jake got to be dependent upon Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kadash. You know, because curse is he, this hope and trust is in man. Alright, so it's Isaiah chapter 59, verse 1. Behold, the Lord Yahweh's hand is not shortened that he cannot save, neither his ear heavy that he cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. Alright, so that was the problem with Jake, you know. They always think that, you know, they could accomplish it themselves, or by making partnerships with the heathen, you know, but they don't understand it's the Most High that runs the show. The Most High decides what progress is going to be made.
Large processing company in Texas and a corporate caterer in Atlanta who had just 11 employees. Did you really think that 11 people were going to do millions of meals?
She told me she was experienced with this work, and as time went on, that she would be able to hire additional people to scale up.
The first 50,000 meals arrived in Puerto Rico late and separated from their heating bags. FEMA refused to distribute them and rejected more than 75,000 additional meals that were on the way. Brown, who describes herself as a diva, mogul, author, and idealist on Twitter, was paid $255,000.
Yep, so that lets you know, man. The curses, man, you know, try to start a business, the Most High jacks it up, you know. It's terrible. So, I'll just put the video a little bit more.
Her company, Tribute Contracting, has had 5 prior government contracts all terminated. One agency even said she was ineligible for any more bids until January 2019.
Big day! I love you!
Renowned chef Jose Andres, who through his charity has provided more than 3 million meals to hurricane victims in Puerto Rico, responded to our story on Twitter saying Tiffany Brown has nothing to do with the larger problem. The people at FEMA awarding this contract should be fired, he tweeted.
We had a plan. We had it mapped out.
Kendra Robinson is that Atlanta caterer who says she's made about 70,000 meals that are just sitting in storage. So who's to blame here?
Bad management of FEMA. It can't be a small business that did everything they could.
Yeah, so this issue with, you know, the Israelite women in general, they never want to take responsibilities for their actions, man. You know, everything's like, you know, gotta punt it to the next person. You know, you gotta shift the blame. But you know, folks don't understand, man. Musa already told Jake from the get-go. You know, he's the only one that could be dependent on. He's the rock of our salvation. Okay, he's, in whom we should trust. You know, Jake spent all that time in the churches, you know, asking the Most High for this favor, for that favor. And when the favor comes around, they don't really give glory to the Most High. You know, they're just like, well, man, this is how I did it. You know, this is how we get this government connection. I got a boy on the inside. You know, stamp, give it the stamp of approval so you get the contract. You know, all you gotta do is just pay $1,000 for a couple of fees here and there, and before you know it, get like $50,000, you know, worth of contract. So that's how You know, Jake like to think, man. They think, uh, the way to progress is the so-called white man, but that's not the way, man. Because it's the Most High that's in charge. Most High is one that gives, promotion. All right. So I'm going to read the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verses 5 and 6. So it says, now therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah Ba'ashem Rakakadash, the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. You drink, but ye are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So that's the curse that's coming upon the nation of Israel, man. Jake is in serious debt. The men of the Lord are broke. But at the end of the day, the Mosai decides how much Jake is going to have, man. And the most important thing, man, bro, is you just, have faith in Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, because he always provide a way out. You can't depend on this system.
To be a part of the solution.
Tiffany Brown says there's one more big thing. FEMA didn't want to pay her up front. They wanted to pay her down the road. And that, she says, forced her to find subcontractors who were willing to take a risk and wait to be paid later. Nora, Ms. Brown has been paid $255,000 so far, but she's appealing to FEMA for $70 million more.
Wow. What? What does she want that $70 million for?
She says she deserves it. She'll never get that $156 million, but she thinks the money that she spent out of pocket, and remember, she's got to pay the subcontractors, so she's asking for $70 million. Who knows if she'll ever see it?
But she didn't deliver, though. That's a very interesting question. And
that's the issue with Jake, man. Jake always thinks just because you got a fine product, an excellent product, doesn't mean it's gonna make it to market. Because this government, contracting game is not a clean game. It's dirty. Folks get held back, man. People get sideswiped. People get blocked from moving forward, man. Because it's a small group of people that know how to work the system, and those folks hardly have any obstruction, man. It's always the small folks at the bottom. They're trying to break their way up, So that's the issue with Jake, man. They think they could make a difference, but the Mossad didn't set it up that way, man. We're still under the curses. Jake has to understand that the power of Yahweh Shema Shai is real. That they can't go beyond the Most High, man. They can't go around the Most High to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. So this is Isaiah chapter 10 verse 20. Okay. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, such as are escaped out of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh Shemashah Ba'ashem Rakakadash, the Holy One of Israel in truth. Okay? So that's all it boils down to, man. Hoping in the name of the Lord, Yahweh, and his Son, Yahweh Shai. That's the only hope we have, man. And that's how all the elect are going to be delivered, having faith in the names, of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And with that being said, hopefully the Akim being edified, the Salakia, just woke up out of sleep, but double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and the elders that do the work of Yahweh Shema Shai. Call hello Yahweh Shema Shai. Brothers, stay humble, stay faithful. Things like this, man. Let's brother remember that you gotta hope in the Lord, man. You can't put your trust in this system, because once it collapses, you're gonna see the true colors of people, man. All right, Shalom.